Greetings, spice traders. I'm Chevalier. Welcome to the illustration and guide of Malacca. Malacca is a nation in Indonesia. They're in the primary node of Malacca, which is named after them, of course, after the capital, which is Malacca. They can also form, as you can see here, they can form Malaya. Again, they're gonna gain a permanent claim on pretty much a huge sum of not countries, of provinces. But yeah, they are the biggest power in the Malacca trade node, which will allow them to control the China, not the China seas, right? The China trade flow, basically, from this area here. Also the Australia as well. They can control it through colonies, and then decently fight out the Europeans at some point. But now let's actually go into the start, and let's actually go at the cache. Also, actually, before we start, from now on, I'm gonna split the video into two parts. One for the intro situation, where we talk about the stats on the start, and the guide, which is gonna be the actual expansion. You know, how you should expand, where you should expand your first attacks, your allies, etc. So that will be more focused. More focused on these two parts. So for example, you don't want the initial situation, you can just go for the expansion, or if you want to maximize some more, you can actually go for the initial situation, in the guide, of course. But now let's actually go into it. Now, as you can see, you have 3.36 targets with no forts. So no forts here, you have only one capital fort. Everything is here is just one level 1 fort, so it's gonna be easily taken down. In this area here, though, there are level 2 forts, which are a little bit problematic, but these areas here are quite slow. No forts, as you can see. Now let's actually check out our max stuff. Which, as you can see, we have 4.91 ducats, so that means we can hire some good advisors to keep the points going. Now let's check our government. We're a sultanate, despotic monarchy, pretty standard stuff. With we have the Sunni religion, of course. Our current leader is shit, and our area is better. As you can see, is a 353, and this guy is 1-1. So this guy has to die almost instantly. My recommendation is to actually make him into a ruler, put him in charge, and keep him in charge. Oh, that's a good stats. Siege 2. Now, this will allow him to die really fast, hopefully. Now we go then for the admin power. We need ideas. Then we go to the estates. We have the emirs, the merchant guilds, the ulema, probably standard stuff. Later on, you will have the dihimi as well, so careful with the dihimi. At some point, I should do a video about maximizing the estates, because it's really important. Now, let us look at the emirs, the ulema, etc. As you can see right here, it's gonna be really difficult for you to get your influence up to 40. So you'll have to probably give them another province. If we look at the development here, you have 5, 6, 8. As you can see, you have provinces that are quite high, unfortunately. So giving them one more to the, finding one to give to the religion staff, the clergy, or basically the Sunni clergy, is gonna be quite difficult. So my recommendation is to wait a little bit until you conquer some stuff. If you look at the culture, you see everything here is Malayan, so you should try to give those out that much. So, or either wait for an event, or give them one of these provinces here that are quite slow, quite low actually. See, this thing here is yeah, this one should do. This one is to the emirs. This one's a 3-2-1. Yeah, this one will go to the ulema. Just gonna get their influence up 30.3, which will allow us to do this to 40, 71. Then we can take some stuff. As you can see, we need to get up to 75, so it's this, and hopefully wait for an event or something of this sort, so you can actually get up to 75. If not, give them another province. You can actually do how the Westerners do it and get 10% more from sending an emissary to the Pope, so you can get to 75. So if you really want to get the 150 points, at the point just give them one more province here, or wait until you conquer some stuff and give them that province. Now, for the emirs, it's pretty much the same stuff as you have here. So you have the Kolodai, the Grand Generalship, and the Good Minister. You need to have 30 more points, so you need 20 with 10. So 20 with 10, or you can be a little bit more cheeky and go with this and this. It's gonna get you to 82, but you're gonna actually conquer one province and you're gonna be safe. It's gonna go down to lower than 80. With the Merchants Guild, you can probably give them one land here as well. Let's say this one here, you can actually give it to them. And they're gonna get what? They're gonna go to 39.9 influence. Anything else that we can actually give them? We can also give them Johor. Depends actually on the trade value here. Although we cannot give them anything else. We need to give them over 10 development provinces. So you can probably give them this to the Merchants Guild. It's gonna give them to 39.9. You can actually grant monopolies. It's gonna get you to 49. Then it's up to you how you want to pull it off. It's 15 here with 20 here, so 79. And again, it's gonna be lowered when you actually get those things. If you are that will not work. If you are aggressive enough, I would say, you can probably try to conquer lots of land here and just go to 100. Like if you're planning to conquer tons of land, you can go to 100, but again, it's up to you how you want to pull it off. Now this is it for the estates. We now go to the government and take our advisors. We have 5 ducats at max, so we can afford a couple of good advisors. So first off, we need if we look at religion here, this is Sunni all the way here, so you're not gonna have any problems at start. So you might actually want to go for the yearly inflation reduction guy right now. So you'll probably want to take cash from these guys, from everybody you can. Loot them, take every bit of ducats, every ducat, every treasure, everything you want to take, so that you'll have as much of a treasure chest, a fallback plan, that's the best way to put it, in a huge reserve of cash. So your inflation reduction is going to help you. Now here we have the better relations over time guy, and here we should go for whatever you want. Manpower is good as well, though discipline is better. Again, it's up to you how you want to go. You should kill this, because you had this guy spawned. And that is for advisors. As you can see, you have 8 points here. If this guy dies, you're gonna have 10. With some power projection, you're gonna have enough as well. Now, for the rivals, it's better to actually see who actually rivaled you than choose an appropriate rival. My recommendation is to actually go for opinion and check everybody else's opinion of you. As you can see, Siak is friendly. This is friendly. This guy is friendly as well. This guy is rivaled you. These guys are neutral, 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 and rivalry. These guys do not actually matter. So again, try to actually choose the guys that you want to attack. The first guys that are going to probably attack is Kedah and Patawani. So it's Patawani here as one rival, and the second one should be Kedah, but you actually don't see Kedah. So the second recommended target should be Siak. Now, the second option here, as you can see, you can get an alliance with this guy, although I do not recommend it. He's friendly to you, he's not going to attack you. My recommendation is to safeguard yourself against Atuhaya. So most likely an alliance with one of these guys up here is going to be good. So my recommendation is to take your third rival as Atuhaya, simply because it's going to help you get an alliance with these guys faster. Basically, whoever rivaled Atuhaya. So either with Khmer, with Langsan, or Malacca, which is me. I would say that we are quite unfortunate. They have a small amount of enemies. Usually they'll have more. They'll have Khmer, Langsan, Pegua, as well, if I'm not mistaken, and me, Malacca, not Malaya. So they're gonna be easily squashed. In this game, it might be quite problematic, but an alliance with Lannan is gonna help you squash Atuhaya to some degree. Now, these are your rivals. As for alliances, Lannan is good for an alliance. I guess Papaying is good for alliance as well, if you want to use him. Same goes for Brunei, although Brunei is not gonna help you, isn't gonna help you. It's to some degree recommended to keep Brunei in check by allying with Kutai, so he won't actually expand that much. Same goes for Sunda. Basically aligning yourself with a smaller guy so that he won't actually, the bigger guys won't actually just squash them. So an alliance with Sunda, an alliance with Kutai. Then a little bit later on, just break the alliance, allow for a war, then you can actually just vassalize them. But you'll need the colonists first, so you can actually take this lands here for yourself. And that is all for diplomats and alliances. In the mid game, you're gonna have to see, depending on the situation, what alliances you want to get. We already talked about economy. We are now on plus. As for trade, you are in the Malacca trade node. And you're gonna have a decent amount of trade power and cash flow moving into the Malacca trade node, either from Beijing, or from Hamzhou, Kanto. You're gonna be able to push a huge amount of trade power into this side here. And later on, you're gonna probably have to expand either into China, into India, or move straight to Zanzibar. So basically, if you want to, you can move to Zanzibar and keep a guy here and just switch straight to Zanzibar. Although be wary of Europeans, they're gonna expand here pretty soon. Although in this patch, the AI is quite stupid. Like I played the United States of North America, United Tribes of North America campaign, and it was about the 1500s, and Spain just barely got around this area here. Like really slow. The AI will not reach here. Maybe 1550 perhaps, maybe 1600s, depending on how the stupid AI is. I mean, it's slow. Like the player can get here quite fast, but the AI is very slow. So you shouldn't worry that much. You should probably blob out by the time they actually get here, and you should have enough Carracks to fight them off. But yeah, Malacca is your main. Try to push from these sides here as well, and then move to Zanzibar later on, or the Cape of Good Hope. It's up to you how you want to pull it off. It's good if you actually colonize the Cape of Good Hope, but this is quite late in the game. Now, let's go to the technology tree. Pretty standard stuff. Go for admin points to get the first idea, save diplo points for the first idea, and take military tech before you go to a war. When you can actually use the modifier depending on the situation that you're in. But usually if you're at war you should actually take the military idea, because it's gonna help you to some degree. And of course, if you feel threatened by somebody, take it instantly, so that you're gonna decrease the chance of them attacking you. Now let's go to ideas. We have the ship cost minus 10%, the trade steering plus 10%, moral of navies plus 20%. We have the merchants plus 1, the tolerance of hiddens, production efficiency, idea cost, naval maintenance modifier, elite prestige, colonies plus 1. This is a mixed bag of ideas. They are mainly focused on trade and colonization. Of course, you have the colonists here, you have the merchant here, and you have the trade steering. You have the production efficiency is good as well. The tolerance of hiddens is good as well. Naval maintenance modifier is gonna help you in this area here. Any advantage that you can take over the West, over the Europeans in military, is in navy size. Basically, it's really gonna help you. And the naval maintenance modifier minus 20% is really gonna help you against the Europeans. Same goes for moral of navies. and the ship cost as well. It's not that great, but it's gonna help you nonetheless in building a huge fleet of Carracks to fight off the Europeans and continue on conquering perhaps even to the New World, depending on your luck. Yeah, the ideas are decent. The Malaya ideas, they shouldn't actually change, if I'm not mistaken. If you actually for Malaya, you should probably choose to keep these ideas here. Let me actually check for a second here. No, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, there are Malaccan ideas. So Malaya has the Malaccan ideas. So yeah, that goes for the ideas. Now let's for the ideas. Yeah, let's go to the current missions. You can basically just for Malaya, the standard Sunni decisions here. Other than this, you can actually form take another administration. Basically, if you choose to, it's not recommended. As for missions, you have no missions that I know of, and no flavor events, or some small flavor events that I actually don't know of. If I check here, nah, no, just a decision. Actually, you have some events for spreading out to Indonesia and stating of the European incursion. They are mainly stability loss, stability gain, piracy. Yeah, pretty much standard stuff, nothing that important. For generals, for trade income, etc. I mean, there's nothing that much here. War against the Portuguese, some small flavor events against the Europeans, and some stability and stability loss and gain. Now, let's move on to the next step here. Stability, pretty standard stuff with the war exhaustion, stability boost here on the global settler increase, on the actual expansion, on the policy here. It's up to you how you want to press on with it. You won't have the necessary amount of troops to actually keep them here and fighting the natives, and there are quite a huge number of natives. So my recommendation is to go for this, simply because you're not gonna have the ability to actually fight off the natives, simply because they are huge, like 3,000, 5,000. You're gonna have to keep a third of your actual fleet, your actual troops there, which is gonna be quite problematic to say the least. So my recommendation is to simply go for the native coexistence policy. It's really gonna help you. And at the same time, you don't want to actually kill those natives, because they're gonna give you more cash when you actually form those nations. And as you can see, they have a pretty decent amount of development. They're not that great, but they are decent, to say the least. Although, as you can see, this is 21. That's quite huge, if I say so myself. Now, and grasslands, man, that's huge. That is quite huge, with the grasslands and all. Now, this is all for this. Oh, right, my bad. Let's talk about ideas. I jumped the horse. Let's actually talk about what ideas you should take. It's actually quite simple. You have exploration and expansion. To some degree, if we actually take off the eye, although it's not recommended, you can actually go for the land-based attacks, the land-based conquest. So that means influence and admin, simply because you have a colonist as the last idea, and you can actually expand here, but it's not that recommended. It's a way to play it, but the best way is go for exploration and expansion. This will allow you to actually move westward really fast. I mean, to the point when I just recommend establish a colony here, for example. Then go straight for a movement on this area here. Simply go balls deep into going west. Like west, all the way here. Then move up all the way here. Like move like a madman. Move like there's no tomorrow. That's my recommendation for you. Move and move and move and leave nothing to the Europeans. If you actually can take the coastal lands for the Cape of Good Hope, you're gonna stop the European expansion to some degree. Like they're not gonna be able to move into these lands here, which is gonna allow you to actually conquer them. They're gonna be you're gonna have them all to yourself basically, and you can slowly conquer them. Now, your third idea, recommendation would be to, I honestly don't know, probably should go for a military idea, either either a military idea as a third, depending on how many points you have. Humanist is good as well. Trade is decent, but you won't need it. So again, you might want to try to complete the chain. So go for exploration, expansion, then influence and admin, to actually have a full combination of expansions for available expansion, basically, so you can actually expand at a lower cost. You can also, if I say so myself, you can actually go for exploration, admin, influence. So basically exploration, 2 points in admin, 2 ideas into admin to actually get the core creation cost. We'll go for the influence ideas. Again, it's up to you how you want to play it. I indeed would recommend for you to take exploration ideas first, then depending on how you want to focus, either go for expansion, then influence, then admin, or admin, 2 points for the core creation cost minus, then influence ideas, then expansion, then a military idea. Again, it's up to you how you want to do it. Although that is the best recommendation that I have, to go for exploration, 2 points in 2 ideas into admin, then influence and expansion. Simply because you want to use your you want to save as many points as possible, because you're gonna be behind on tech to some degree. So exploration ideas are gonna help you to actually move west further, but expansion ideas are not gonna help you that much into in moving west, simply because you're gonna have 2 colonies already. Although this will help you to some degree, it's negligible. It's not negligible, but it's gonna give you what, maybe a 50% increase in overall speed, I would say, even less, because you have the events as well. So yeah, it's gonna give you some decent amount of extra speed, but you're better off with saving more points and taking admin ideas than influence ideas. Now, let's go to the religion. You are Sunni, pretty much standard Sunni stuff for piety and for lack of piety, of course. You're most likely gonna swim in lack of piety, You're gonna have lack of piety earlier on because you're gonna attack these guys, and later on you're gonna have piety because you're gonna attack these guys, probably. These guys, and then you're gonna actually switch to, yeah, you're gonna attack these guys and these guys, so you're gonna have lack of piety to some degree. Now, you can also choose to become the Defender of Fate, which is gonna help you conquer, to convert stuff easier. Now, it's pretty much it. Now, for the military tab, you have 12 force military at full. You have 9 right now. You should probably build, what, 9? You should build 1 more cav, and no, you have 12, right? Yeah, 2 more cav and 1 more infantry. That's gonna help you have 50%. So yeah, 1 more infantry and 2 more cav is gonna allow you to have the full complement of damage. Try to have siege value here, simply because these guys are just a level 1, and you can try to God damn it. Try to trade capitals, and that's gonna help you try to take the capital before they can take yours, and that's gonna help you quite a lot, to be honest. And you can actually blockade their way to your capital, especially for these guys here and these guys here, because you're gonna have a better fleet. As for a fleet, you have 70 out of 20. My recommendation is to build up to 20 barks, build up another 3 barks, then stand your ground there. As for composition, you have trade, light ships and transports. So send these trade ships, send them to Malacca, if I say so myself, or whatever node that you actually can get trade from. As you can see, you're gonna move from 1 point. Actually, I have to see this first, so that you can actually see at full scale. You can actually, you're gonna go for what, another 17 targets here. you can actually move to Siam and you're gonna push one target from there, and from the Moluccas you're gonna push 1.1 targets. So probably should send it on the Moluccas. Then again, you're actually only gonna make 80% here, so you can actually keep your guys here to take more of a percentage from this side here. It's up to you how to pull it off. So I recommend that you keep your troops here. Sorry, it's late here. Tired from work, as always. Try to keep them here and see how much cash you can earn here. Then actually try to switch them to these guys and see how much cash you're gonna gain here. Then try to take this lands here, basically the trade ports. So basically this thing here and this thing here, quite early on, simply because you will need those lands quite early on, so you can have more trade power in this node. That is gonna allow you to have more cash. Malacca, this node is really well suited to gathering a huge amount of cash here, quite a huge amount, especially if you can actually, you have 13 ducats in Hang. So if you actually send like 10 ships here, I swear to God, if you send your 10 ships here, you're gonna push perhaps 2 ducats to Malacca, and you have a merchant as well, and you can push 2 ducats to Malacca. If you have 100%, it's gonna be huge. Like Hangzhou is your primary target for pushing trade power. Now, that is all for military and stuff. Try to build a fort here, I guess. I would say a fort here in Rajam, whatever it's called. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it, simply because it's gonna allow you to hold off the enemies from going to your capital. So basically, you're gonna be safe. That is gonna help you to safeguard your capital, and you have a bigger navy so you can squash them as well. So you are quite in a well defended position, so you can actually survive quite a lot of if you build like 2 forts, like one here, nobody's gonna be able to fuck with you. Like by the time you take these 2 forts, especially because you can actually squash them really fast. So if you build 1 fort here and 1 fort here, for example, they're not gonna be able to move. They're gonna be stuck here for years to come before they can actually take siege your capital, or even more. So yeah, that is good as well. We already talked about the states, and this is it for this episode. This episode is the part 1 of the initial situation and guide of Malacca. Second part will have the attack and how you should move and who should you attack first, and all the aggressive stuff and what is your best options. Also talk a little bit more about ideas and how you should use them. Again, it's gonna be a free talk of your expansion and your expansion plan in the early and mid game. But yeah, if you like this content, consider subscribing or liking the videos. Whatever you choose, I accept all feedback, especially constructed feedback, because it's really gonna help me develop my way of speaking, basically telling you this, explaining you the situations of every country and explaining you their attacks, basically their aggressiveness. But yeah, I'm Chevalier. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you next time, guys. Ciao.